Hey there, art nerds! Today I'm going to show you how to paint this adorable Easter chick watercolor bookmark. This is a stash buster tutorial, so if you've got a stash of watercolor paper, this is the project for you. For today's project, we're going to need a scrap of cold pressed cotton rag watercolor paper. I believe this is a scrap of arches, but you can use what you got. We're also going to use some white washi tape. This is MT washi tape. I highly recommend it. Not only is it going to give us a nice, clean, crisp white border around our image, but it's also going to hold it secure while we're painting it. You're also going to need your favorite watercolor paint. So I've got a wide selection of watercolor paints here. This is my Daily Driver palette as well as my Naomi palette. These are the palettes that I use when I'm painting my comic, 7-inch Kara. So if you like my art, I hope you guys will check my comic out. It is free as a webcomic at 7inchkara.com. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a cerulean to start painting my sky, and I want kind of a graduated color. I chucked a bottle behind my stretcher support board just to kind of let gravity help me do what I'm doing, and I'm using cerulean as well as ultramarine blue to create my sky, and I want kind of a soft graduated sky. If you guys watched my Easter rabbit watercolor bookmark tutorial, we're going to use a lot of the same techniques here, like using a clean paper towel to dab out some cloud shapes. This is so easy and so satisfying. It's such a fun way to do clouds. And then we're going to add a little bit of clean water to our dried sky area and dab in some yellow, a small circle for the head and a large circle for the body. And this is going to be our chick. I'm using a warmer yellow. I dab that into the center of my circles to kind of create this sort of fuzzy look, like a fuzzy little newborn chick. I'm also going to use a slightly warmer yellow once it had a chance to dry a little bit, and I'm going to do almost like a fur-like texture, because if you guys have looked at like kiwi birds or newborn baby chicks, they're very fuzzy, they're almost furry, and I want to convey that soft, diffused fuzziness. So this is a pretty simple one, but we're really relying on our wet into wet technique. So that's why it's really important that we're working on a cotton rag watercolor paper. This is not going to work so well for your cellulose watercolor paper scraps, unfortunately. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then we're going to grab an orange and we're going to start painting in the little chick feet. And I have to admit, I am referencing baby chickens as I'm painting this. They are so cute. So I highly recommend you Google baby chicks while you're painting this. That way you can paint a better baby chick and you get to look at some very quality baby animal photos. So once my little chick has had a chance to dry, I'm going to start working on my Easter eggs. And for that, I'm just grabbing different pastel colors, so greens, blues, pinks, purples, painting very simple egg shapes. And as they overlap the chick, if I want them to go behind, I'm going to use a little bit of clean water and kind of soften that transition edge. And that's going to add to the kind of furry effect, the fluffy fuzzums effect that our little Easter chick here has. And I'm not really waiting for the eggs to dry before I paint the next one. And in some areas, I'm actually going to connect the eggs, so we get this really pretty wet into wet blowback effect. Now, in some areas, I am leaving a halo. I'm trying to be very deliberate about where I get my bleed and how much bleed I'm getting. So I'm really trying to create kind of a controlled mess situation. So as you guys can see, we can get a little bit of that blue into our pink, but it's not going to completely pollute our little pink Easter egg. And you can add as many eggs as you want. I did them as big as I did them so that it looked like the chick maybe popped out of one of the Easter eggs, but you can do smaller eggs if you want. You can do your chick smaller if you want. This is your watercolor bookmark. You can decide what colors you want to make it and how you want to paint it. I'm using black and I'm painting a little bitty adorable black beady eye. And then I'm going to add in a purple Easter egg. You don't even have to do your eggs in Easter eggy colors. You can make them very natural. You can make them browns and whites and teals. You can do whatever you wish. I am providing the inspiration and a little bit of the creativity, whereas you guys are going to provide the perspiration when you paint your own. And if you want this to be more of a bookmark shape, i.e. taller, you could paint more of the sky and then have your chick down at the bottom. Or you could paint this as a postcard and then you could pop it in the mail and send it to somebody. I even talk about how easy it is to mail original watercolor postcards to people you love. In fact, if you're looking for more watercolor postcard ideas, I've got a whole Itagame playlist that'll encourage you guys to get painting. So once my chick had a chance to dry a little bit more, I'm going to tighten up the details on the little feeties and on the little beakies with a little bit more orange. You can decide how tight you want to go, how much detail you want to go. And using a little white gouache, I'm just doing little bitty little stripies in the fur, not in the fur, in the feathers to really emphasize that soft, halo-y, furry kind of look that we get with baby chicks. This is all about the cute here. But speaking of cute, you guys, ducklings are also super cute. Quality, cute baby bird content there. And I feel like I'm gonna have to paint an Easter duckling for you guys at some point because ducklings are so cute. So once all of that had a chance to dry, we're gonna start painting our grass. So this is very similar to our Easter rabbit tutorial. In this instance though, I'm working with a more pastel yellow green rather than an olive green. I'm also painting some of the grass behind the eggs. So we have some grass in front of the eggs, and then I have like an island of space, and then I'm painting some of the grass behind the eggs. I know my hand kind of covers that up. It can be really hard to capture this angle, but hopefully you guys are getting what I'm talking about. I'm using really quick brush strokes, not applying a lot of pressure, very, very light. And we're going to be working from our brightest, warmest greens to our cooler, darker greens. So this bright light green is kind of to represent the sun hitting the tops of the grass. And then the next layer is going to kind of represent the color of the grass itself. And it's not 100% covering up the eggs, which is good. I wanted to kind of give the implication of like eggs that have been hidden in the grass, like an Easter egg hunt. Maybe it took somebody a little while to find one and one of them hatched into a chick. And yeah, I know that's not how we do that. We boil the eggs first and then we dye them. I know, I actually have a whole playlist of spring and Easter arts and crafts, including dyeing, blowing, and painting your own watercolor eggs. So if you're looking for more fun, arty things to do this spring, I hope you guys will check out that playlist. So now I have a cooler, bluer green. I'm not painting, so for each layer of our grass, I'm painting it a little bit shorter and maybe painting the blades themselves a little bit thicker than the layer before. That way we're really building up our colors, we're building up our layers, we're building up some dimension here. And then for my final layer, I'm using kind of a turquoise layer at the bottom of the grass, like the shadow of the grass. So the areas of the grass where the sun don't shine, where the sun isn't hitting, so that we actually have some depth. Once that had a chance to dry fully, I'm removing my masking tape at a 90-degree angle so it doesn't tear into my illustration. And there we have it, our third adorable Easter/spring watercolor bookmark. I have got buku simple, fun, and easy watercolor bookmark tutorials to share with you guys. My amazing art nerds over on Patreon get them first, so they've seen ones you guys have not even seen yet. But if you join my Patreon today, you'll get access to that and you can go check them out. You can be one of the exclusive few who get early access to almost all of my videos. It's a great way to help support the work that I'm doing here on the channel and to help me continue to review art supplies and share tutorials just like this one. And it's super cheap to join. It's just $2 a month and it really helps a lot. I had so much fun painting this adorable baby chick. I've got some really cool watercolor tutorials here on the channel, both for people who are just getting started and they're not sure what to paint, to people who are more experienced with watercolor and are interested in learning some different techniques or some different ways of handling things, or might want to experiment with different watercolor materials. I've got some great playlists and I'll have them linked in the description as well as in the cards, so hopefully you guys will check them out. So here are our three beautiful Easter/spring bookmarks. We have our Easter eggs in bright tie-dye colors. We've got our beautiful Easter or spring rabbit, and we've got our little bitty Easter chick. I had a lot of fun painting all three of these for you guys and sharing them with you. So if you had fun, if you enjoyed it, please consider leaving me a thumbs up and consider subscribing and clicking the bell notification to join me here on YouTube. Huge, amazing thanks to my awesome art nerds on Patreon for their continued support and encouragement. You guys make the magic happen here. Thank you guys so much. So have a wonderful day, guys, and a very happy spring. Bye.